Frisco. I needed one more fare to make my night. A lady up ahead waved to flag me down. She got in at the lights. Oh, where you gone to, my lady blue? It's a shame you ruined your gown in the rain. She just looked out the window. She said 16 Parkside Lane. Something about her was familiar. I could swear I've seen her face before. But she said, I'm sure you're mistaken. And she didn't say anything more. It took a while, but she looked in the mirror. Then she glanced at the license for my name. A smile seemed to come to her slowly. It was a sad smile, just the same. And she said, how are you, Harry? I said, how are you, Sue? Through the too many miles and the too little smiles, I still remember you. It was somewhere in a fairy tale. I used to take her home in my car. We learned about love in the back of a Dodge. The lesson hadn't gone too far. You see, she was gonna be an actress, and I was gonna learn to fly. She took off to find the footlights. I took off to find the sky. Oh, I've got something inside me to drive a princess blind. There's a wild man wizard is hiding in me, illuminating my mind. I've got something inside me, but it's not what my life's about. 'Cause I've been letting my outside tide me over till my time runs out. There was not much more for us to talk about. Whatever we had once was gone. So I turned my cab into the driveway, past the gate and the fine trim lawns. And she said, we must get together, but I knew it'd never be arranged. Then she handed me $20 for a $2.50 fare. She said, Harry, keep the change. Well, another man might have been angry, and another man might have been hurt, but another man never would have let her go. I stashed the bill in my shirts, and she walked away in silence. It's strange how you never know, but we'd both gotten what we'd asked for such a long, long time ago. You see, she was gonna be an actress, and I was gonna learn to fly. She took off to find the footlights, I took off for the sky. And here she's acting happy inside a handsome home, and me, I'm flying in my taxi, taking tips, getting stoned. I go flying so high when I'm stoned.
In the 60s, Harry Chapin was a poet and filmmaker. He combined these two unique abilities and became one of America's most beloved singer-songwriters who would touch the world with his words and music. Harry gave us story songs, a cinematic way of telling his view of the world in music. Music that he found inspiration for in the endless cast of working-class heroes and eccentric characters. Harry's songs have secured his place in American music, and since his untimely death at the age of 39, they continue to touch, entertain, and amuse us.
And so we'd sing.
Harry was constantly picking up observations from the environment, whether a taxi cab or a stewardess on a plane, constantly making notes. If you saw a review in the New York Times about a singer making his debut at Town Hall in New York City, who was a real guy named Martin Turbley from Dayton, Ohio. He read the story. Why was he attracted to it, and why did he clip it and hold it? It's because it was part of his story, because he got bad reviews. So he could feel that guy's pain and disappointment in his story, and he could tell it.
Mr. Tanner was a cleaner from a town in the Midwest, and of all the cleaning shops around, he'd made his the best. But he also was a baritone who sang while hanging clothes. He cracked the scales while pressing tails and sang at local shows. His friends and neighbors praised the voice that poured out from his throat. They said that he should use his gift instead of cleaning coats. But music was his life, it was not his livelihood, and it made him feel so happy, and it made him feel so good. And he sang from his heart, and he sang from his soul. He did not know how well he sang, it just made him whole. His friends kept working on him to try music out full time. A big debut and rave reviews, a great career to climb. Finally they got to him, he would take the fling. A concert agent in New York agreed to have him sing. And there were plane tickets, phone calls, money spent to rent the hall. It took most of his savings, but he gladly used them all. Music was his life, it was not his livelihood, and it made him feel so happy, and it made him feel so good. And he sang from his heart, and he sang from his soul. He did not know how well he sang, it just made him whole. The evening came, he took the stage, his face set in a smile, and in the half-filled hall the critics sat, watching on the aisle. The concert was a blur to him, spatters of applause. He did not know how well he sang, he only heard the flaws. But the critics were concise. It only took 4 lines, and no one could accuse them of being overkind. Mr. Martin Tanner, baritone of Dayton, Ohio, made his town hall debut last night. He came well prepared, but unfortunately his presentation was not up to contemporary professional standards. His voice lacks the range of tonal color necessary to make it consistently interesting. Full-time consideration of another endeavor might be in order. He came home to Dayton and was questioned by his friends, but he smiled and just said nothing, and he never sang again. Excepting very late at night when the shop was dark and closed. He sang softly to himself as he sorted through the clothes. Music was his life. It was not his livelihood, and it made him feel so happy, and it made him feel so good, and he sang from his heart, and he sang from his soul, and he did not know how well he sang. It just made him whole. John Wallace.
I remember when Harry was teaching me about writing lyrics, because I wrote poetry. And he said, with a poem, on the written page, you can go back. If you don't get it the first time, you can go back and reread it. With a song, you got to get it. You know, it's got to be instantly available.
He says you can either create the situation that gets the feeling, or you can talk about the feeling, you know, kind of literally or point blank. And I think he loved to create the vision or the picture and then let you draw your own conclusions.
I come fresh from the street, fast on my feet, kinda lean and lazy. Not much meat on my bones and a whole lot alone and more than a little bit crazy. The old 6-string was all I had to keep my belly still. And for each full hour lesson I gave, I got a crisp $10 bill. You see, she was married for 7 years to a concrete castle king. She said she wanted to learn to play the guitar and to hear her children sing. So I'd show up about once a week in my faded tight-leg jeans, with a backlog full of hobo stories and dilapidated dreams. She said, I want to learn a love song full of happy things. She said, I want to learn a love song, won't you let me sing? She said, I want to learn a love song, I want to hear you play. She said, I want to learn a love song before you go away. So I tried to teach her a couple of chords and an easy melody, but it always turned out she'd rather listen to my guitar and me. I could hear her old man laughing in the den, playing stud polka with the boys, while I sang so soft in the living room, too scared to make much noise. Came one week and the den was dark, and she met me at the door, and we sat on the couch and we sang and talked till I could not sing no more. You know, the silence
much too wide, and I could hear both of our heartbeats, but there was no place to hide. She said, I want to learn a love song full of happy things. She said, I want to learn a love song, won't you let me hear you sing? She said, I want to learn a love song, I want to hear you play. She said, I want to learn a love song before you go away. I never been so clean. Yeah, I feel like I'm working in a Hollywood movie or living out a good bad dream. And all them pin-up girls in that tinsel world never touched me like she can. It took another man's wife in the real world life to make this boy a man. She said, I want to learn a love song full of happy things. She said, I want to learn a love song, won't you let me hear you sing? She said, I want to learn a love song, I want to hear you play. She said, I want to learn a love song before you go away. I guess you know I stay.
Beautiful. You're an old Frisbee man, aren't you? Is Harry going to do the other number now? Is he set up? You still here? They've been sitting there all this time? 27 minutes. All right, 27 minutes. Harry's been sitting there. Once again, here is Harry Chapin.
Thank you. I think most of us one time this summer happened to glance in on the Watergate hearings and had all kinds of mixed emotions. I came out with no answers, just some questions. Song for myself. It's a song for myself. It's just a song for myself. You don't have to listen, babe. It's just a song for myself. But since I fell in love with you, it's brought some thoughts to mind. If we're gonna raise us a couple of kids, I got to worry about the future time. Do I believe that the answer is still blowing in the wind? Do I believe that with a little more love now, all our troubles end? Do I believe that there are good times rolling, babe, just around the bend? Oh, here I am trying to believe in myself and be a little good, be a little good, be a little good to my friends. It's just the thought that was in my mind. It's just a thought that's in my mind. You don't have to think it, babe. It's just a thought that was in my mind. But no one's wrote a protest song since 1963. Are we all gonna listen to the molded gold and say, just let it be? Do I believe that the answer is still blowing in the wind? I don't believe it. Do I believe that with a little more love now, all our troubles end? I don't believe it. Do I believe that there are good times rolling, babe, just around the bend? Ah, here I am trying to believe in myself and be a little good, be a little good, be a little good to my friends. Oh, be a little good, be a little good, be a little good, be a little good, be a little song for myself. But it seems my generation should have something more to say. Are we all gonna sit here with a stoned out smile and simply watch the world go away? Do I believe that the answer is still blowing in the wind? I don't believe it. Do I believe that there are good times rolling, babe, just around the bend? I don't believe it. Do I believe that with a little more love now, all our troubles end? Oh, here I am trying to believe in myself and be a little good, be a little good, be a little good to my friend. Be a little good, be a little good to my friend now.
I was looking through some old notebooks that I'd never had any reason to go through that were here and there around the house. I found one page of something I didn't recognize, had never seen or heard before, and so it was a lyric that he hadn't had a chance to put to music.
Came from wooden boxes strung with silver wire.
I live inside my music. I love the spaces there. I can soar inside my stories. They can take me anywhere. 'Cause I'm the king in my castle. My walls are made of sound. My band's my music soldiers. We come to conquer towns. But when the song is over and the stage is dark and bare, my motel is a dungeon. No one's waiting there. I'm alive when I am singing, and I've an admission I must make. When I'm up here, it's reality. When I'm off stage, it's all fake. There's a lady somewhere waiting who loves me more than I can know. She dies a little each time I leave. She loves enough to let me go. She prays someday I'll see the way to bring my songs back home. But now I'm soaring towards the sun, singing my songs alone. You know, the fact that this was sitting in the notebook and every other lyric in the notebook had music written to it, maybe it was too personal, because this is what all the songs were avoiding. I mean, the songs with the stories about other people, where he didn't have to say that he was the one who was lonely or disappointed. But this, you know, he's talking about himself. And so maybe that's why it was left alone.
And so we'd sing.
Hello, honey, it's me. What did you think when you heard me back on the radio? What did the kids say when they knew it was their long-lost daddy? Oh, remember how we listened to the radio, and I said, that's the place to be. And how I got the job as an FM jock the day you married me. It was 2 kids and I was into AM rock, but I just had to run around. It's been 8 years since I left you, babe. Let me tell you about what's gone down. I am the morning DJ and WOLD-D-D-D-D-D-D, playing all the hits for you, wherever you may be. The bright good morning voice who's heard but never seen. Oh, feeling all of 45, going on 15. The drinking I did on my last big gig, it made my voice go low. They said that the light like the young sound when they let me go. So I drifted on down to Tulsa, Oklahoma to do me a late night talk show. Now I work my way down home again, little boys and Idaho. That's how this business goes. I am the morning DJ at WOLD, playing all the hits for you wherever you may be. The bright good morning voice who's heard but never seen. I'm feeling all of 45, going on 50. I'm making extra money doing high school sock hops. I'm the big time guest MC. You should hear me talking to the little children and listen what they say to me. There's a spot on the top of my head just begging for a new toupee. And there's a tire around my gut from sitting on my, but it's never gonna go away. Sometimes I get this crazy dream that I just take off in my car. But you could travel on 10,000 miles and still stay where you are. I've been thinking that I should stop this jockeying and start that record store. Maybe I could settle down if you take me back once more. Okay, honey, I see. I guess he's better than me. Sure, old girl, I understand. You don't have to worry, I'm such a happy man. W-O-L-D, 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 W-O-L-D. I am the morning DJ at WOLD, playing all the hits for you wherever you may be. The bright good morning voice who's heard but never seen. I'm feeling all of 45, going on 15. I am the morning DJ at WOLD.
This is a brand new song that I really want to do for you. I've been in a super romantic mood over the last 6-8 months. I think I did it for one of the 2 shows we were here in January. It's a song I wrote the lyrics to on a particularly wild flight one night going from Austin to Dallas, the night that Wichita Falls bit to bury. That tornado went through and just ruined the town. It's north of Dallas, and so I was going up and down. And I saw my life flash in front of my eyes, and I ended up writing this story called Story of My Life. This is also a song, I guess, that's best for people who've had a couple years go through their belts.
I can see myself, it's a golden sunrise. Young boy, open up your eyes. It's supposed to be your day. Now off you go, horizon bound. You won't stop until you found your own kind of way. And the wind will whip your tousled hair, the sun, the rain, the sweet despair, brave tales of love and strife. And somewhere on your path to glory, you will write your story of a life. And all the towns that you walk through and all the people that you talk to sing you their songs. And there are times you change your stride, there are times you can't decide, still you go on. And then the young girls dance their gypsy tunes and share the secrets of the moon. So soon you find a wife, and though she sees your dreams go poorly, still she joins your story of a life. So you settle down and the children come and you find a place that you come from. Your wandering is done. And all your dreams of open spaces you find in your children's faces one by one. And all the trips you know you missed and all the lips you never kissed cut through you like a knife. And now you see stretched out before thee just another story of a life. So what do you do now when she looks at you now? You know those same old jokes all the jesters tell, you tell them to her now. And all the same old songs all the minstrels sang, you sing them to her now. It don't matter anyhow, 'cause she knows by now. And every chance you take don't mean a thing. What variations can you bring to this shop-worn melody? And every year goes by like a tolling bell. It's battered merchandise you sell, not well she can see. And though she's heard it all 1,000 times, couched in your attempted rhymes, she'll march to your drum and fife. But the question echoes up before me, where's my magic story of a life? I found sometimes words can serve me well, sometimes words can go to hell for all that they do. And for every dream that took me high, there's been a dream that's passed me by. I know it's so true. And I can see it clear out to the end, and I'll whisper to her now again, because she shared my life. Far more than all the ghosts of glory, she makes up the story. She's the only story of my life.
I can think of very few songs that just sort of came off the top of his head. His songs came from people he met, from scenes he observed, from places he traveled. I always thought of Harry as a troubadour. The old troubadours went from castle to castle, and they brought their bag of tricks, their songs, and they picked up new ones and went to the next town and brought some new stories. And wherever Harry was, there would be something. He purposely actually would spend time in a place. If he had a concert at a college, he would get into town early so that he could go to the gym and get in a pickup basketball game and meet a few guys and ask them about their what they thought of America or what they were planning to do with their lives and so forth and so on. He dug in and he engaged with places and people and so forth. So he was always picking up stories and playing the old stories in this town and picking up some new ones and carrying them on. And so they were places. They were feelings about places too. I'm pretty sure Copper came from Chicago. It might have been a newspaper story he read about a corrupt cop or something, and then he'd put two and two together in his head and come up with a story. The day they closed the factory down came from meeting Michael Moore in Flint, Michigan, because Michael was out there already with the Flint Voice trying to fight against General Motors, and so that was kind of a real story. The Sniper was about the Austin, Texas. Was it the campus of the University of Texas snipers? So that was a real story. The 30,000 pounds of bananas was a real story. It actually happened in Scranton, Pennsylvania. So he would his imagination would take off from the incident, and I'm sure that there, was his own personal story that got kind of stirred in there, and bits and pieces of people he knew or was meeting, and the story came out. But it was just natural for him to turn everything into a story.
I was planning on doing a lot more music in a while. Look, a good concert is like a good date. You build towards the climax. You don't start out in bed. So we're saving bananas, for the...
You start out any place you can.
You've always been a pragmatist, John.
Bookends.
Now, this next song, I always get into trouble when I don't do it. It's probably the most gentle song I've ever written. It's one of my favorites. It's called A Better Place to Be. It was an early morning bar room, and the place just opened up, and a little man came in so fast, and he started at his cups, and the broad who served the whiskey, she was a big old friendly girl who tried to fight her empty nights by smiling at the world. And she said, "Hey, bub, it's been a while since you've been around. Where the hell you been hiding? Why you look so down?" The little man just sat there like he'd never heard a sound. The waitress, she gave out with a cough and acted not the least put off. She spoke once again. She said, "I don't want to bother you. Consider it's understood. I know I'm not no beauty queen, but I sure can listen good." And the little man took his drink in his hand and he raised it to his lips. He took a couple of sips and then he told that waitress this story. "I am the midnight watchman down at Miller's Tool and Die, and I watch the metal rusting, I watch the time go by. A week ago at the diner, I stopped to get a bite, and this here lovely lady, she sat 2 seats from my right. was all right. You see, she was so damn beautiful, she could warm a winter frost. But she looked long past lonely, and well nigh kind of lost. Now I'm not much of a mover or a pick-em-up easy guy, but I decided to glide on over and give her one good try. And Lord, 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 she was worth the try. But I was tongue-tied like a schoolboy, I stammered out some words. It did not seem to matter much, 'cause I don't think she heard. She just looked clear on through me to a space back in my head, and it shamed me into silence. As quietly she said, if you want me to come with you, that's all right with me, 'cause I know I'm going nowhere, and anywhere's a better place to be. Anywhere's a better place to be. Well, I drove off to my boarding house, and I took her up to my room, and I went to turn on the only light to brighten up the gloom. But she said, please leave the light off. Oh, I don't mind the dark. And as the clothes all tumble around her, I could hear my heart. The moonlight shone upon her as she lay back in my bed. It was the kind of scene I only had imagined in my head. I just could not believe it, to think that she was real. And as I tried to tell her, she said, shh, I know just how you feel. And if you want to come here with me, that's all right with me, 'cause I've been oh so lonely, loving someone is a better way to be. Anywhere's a better place to be. Well, the morning came so swiftly, I held her in my arms, and she slept like a baby, snug and safe from harm. Now I did not want to share her or dare to break the mood, so before she woke, I went out to buy us both some food. I came back with my paper bag to find that she was gone. She'd left a 6-word letter saying it's time that I moved on. You know that waitress, she took her bar rag and she wiped it across her eyes. As she spoke, her voice came out as something like a sigh. She said, I wish that I was beautiful, or that you were halfway blind. And I wish I weren't so goddamn fat. I wish that you were mine. And I wish that you'd come with me when I leave for home. For we both know all about emptiness and living all alone. And the little man looked at the empty glass in his hand, and he smiled a crooked grin. He said, I guess I'm out of gin, and I know we both have been so lonely. And if you want me to come with you, that's all right with me, 'cause I know I'm going nowhere, and anywhere's a better place to be.
I don't have a great memory, but what I do remember, I have like very specific snapshots. And we have a room upstairs that we actually opened up to 2 rooms, but it was one room and it was his studio, or his. It just had a big desk and a big record collection, and there wasn't much to it. It wasn't like a high end studio or anything, but that's where he wrote a lot of songs. And I actually remember him calling me in and playing the song for me. I don't know if it was the first time. I just remember it, and I guess just like everything else I'm saying, I think it was that feeling of being included, or that inclusive like vibe, like, hey, this is yours, so have fun with it. So my mom always called it the dirty diaper dance, which was it was just basically, it wasn't real complicated, it's pretty much just rocking back and forth, but that it was when I was allowed to do my thing and have my own little shtick, So that's my memory of it. We almost developed. I went to school, so there's no way I could have been on the road as much as I remember that I was in my head. I'm sure I only joined him for like 5 to 8 shows a year or so, or maybe. But I don't even, maybe it was a dozen. I have no idea. But in my head, I was out, on the road with him for like 100 shows a year, living the grind, whatever else. But so we did develop a little shtick where he would act like he forgot my age and say just 4 years old in the song, but I would be 7 and I'd nudge him on the stage and say, no, I'm 7, and he'd have to go, oh, sorry, I messed it up again. So that's personal in that respect, like just remembering moments like that.
This is a very short story song about the Cats in the Cradle kid, my son.
Daddy plays guitar, you dance without a smile. Kid, you may not have great rhythm, but you sure got style. 4 years old and still it seems you've got it figured out. When Daddy sings and then you dance, the people clap and shout. 'Cause you're my dancing boy, and it's scary how you trust me. Just one look from you and I come pouring out like wine. You're my dancing boy, I'm sure by now that you must see your dancing means much more to me than any dream of mine. I'm proud when you are with me and my heart lives in my throat. When you start to strut your stuff, my eyes go all afloat. And when I have to leave you home, as sometimes it must be. I always feel I leave behind far too much of me. 'Cause you're my dancing boy, and it's scary how you trust me. Just one look from you and I come pouring out like wine. You're my dancing boy, I'm sure by now that you must see. Your dancing means much more to me than any dream of mine. Do it, kid. Coming dancing boy when your dancing days are done. When daddy and his dancing boy will have dwindled down to one. The world will teach you other steps to match the march of time. I hope you'll keep our dancing days dancing in your mind. I do your dancing boy, 'cause it's scary how you trust me. Just one look from you and I come pouring out like wine. Do your dancing boy, I'm sure by now that you must see. Your dancing means much more to me than any dream of mine.
This is a brand new song that I really want to do for you. I've been in a super romantic mood over the last 6-8 months. I think I did it for one of the two shows we were here in January. It's a song I wrote the lyrics to on a particularly wild flight one night going from Austin to Dallas, the night that Wichita Falls bit to bury. That tornado went through and just ruined the town. It's north of Dallas, and so I was going up and down. And I saw my life flash in front of my eyes and ended up writing this story called Story of My Life. This is also a song, I guess, that's best for people who've had a couple years go through their belts.
I can see myself, it's a golden sunrise. Young boy, open up your eyes. It's supposed to be your day. Now off you go, horizon bound. You won't stop until you found your own kind of way. And the wind will whip your tousled hair, the sun, the rain, the sweet despair, brave tales of love and strife. And somewhere on your path to glory, you will write your story of a life. And all the towns that you walk through and all the people that you talk to sing you their songs. And there are times you change your stride, there are times you can't decide, still you go on. And then the young girls dance their gypsy tunes and share the secrets of the moon. So soon you find a wife, and though she sees your dreams go poorly, still she joins your story of a life. So you settle down and the children come and you find a place that you come from. Your wandering is done. And all your dreams of open spaces you find in your children's faces one by one. And all the trips you know you missed and all the lips you never kissed cut through you like a knife. And now you see stretched out before thee just another story of a life. So what do you do now when she looks at you now? You know those same old jokes all the jesters tell, you tell them to her now. And all the same old songs all the minstrels sang, you sing them to her now. It don't matter anyhow, 'cause she knows by now. And every chance you take don't mean a thing. What variations can you bring to this shop-worn melody? And every year goes by like a tolling bell. It's battered merchandise you sell, not well she can see. And though she's heard it all 1,000 times, couched in your attempted rhymes, she'll march to your drum and fife. But the question echoes up before me, where's my magic story of a life? I found sometimes words could serve me well, sometimes words can go to hell for all that they do. And for every dream that took me high, there's been a dream that's passed me by. I know it's so true. And I can see it clear out to the end, and I'll whisper to her now again, because she shared my life. Far more than all the ghosts of glory, she makes up the story. She's the only story of my life.
When Harry would come home from the road, he would show me new stuff that he'd been working on, and I'd show him some things that I'd been doing. And I showed him the poem for Cats in the Cradle, and he kind of pushed it aside, and he took more interest in a couple of other things that I'd been working on. And then after Joshua was born, he grabbed it and said, hey, I got to put music to this. So it had been written a lot earlier, but it really hit him after Joshua was born.
If it didn't happen to me so often, it would almost be awkward, but I'm used to it now because people actually want to, because I look like my dad too, they'll want to have contact with me, put their arm on my shoulder and really try and communicate to me how it healed their relationship with their father, or it got them closer to someone they had fallen away from. It's always amazing to me because people just almost, before they even get words out, I can see a shakiness and emotion in their eyes and the way they just kind of want to close the space between me and them when I haven't even met them before, which is a tribute to my dad.
My child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking before I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. Cats in the cradle and a silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, son. You know we'll have a good time then. My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad, come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today, I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay, and he walked away, but his smile never dimmed and said, I'm gonna be like him, yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and a silver spoon, little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, son. You know we'll have a good time then. Well, he came from college just the other day, so much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I'd really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle and a silver spoon, little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then. Well, I've long since retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. Said I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said I'd love to, Dad, if I could find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids have the flu, but it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. And as he hung up the phone, it occurred to me he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and a silver spoon, little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then, Dad. You know we'll have a good time then. Chapin, come on out here and help us do circle. Come on. I wrote this thing for you. Here we go.
He was always talking about failure, and he knew that he failed. But he had an idea, if you throw up 7 balloons and you know, 3 of them pop, you still got 4 balloons up there. He also talked about being fully alive and making the most of every day.
Hey, Tom Chapin, come on out here and help us do circle. Come on. I wrote this thing for you. Here we go.
He was nourished by the affirmation of the crowd, and there's nothing more affirming than having people sing your song back to you. And you know, it means it endures, it means that people are engaged, and I think that really kept him going.
We call it the Chapin Anthem, and obviously, you know, visually the closing of a circle and the idea that every end is just a beginning to another rotation or another cycle is a helpful way to kind of think about life instead of being so scared of the end.
Well, it seems like I've been here before, and I sure remember when. And I got this funny feeling that we'll all get together again and again and again and again. There are no straight lines make up my life, and all my roads have bends. There's no clear-cut beginnings, and so far no dead end. You think Steve should sing one time? I don't know.
Let me see if I can remember the words. Well, I've found you 1,000 times. I guess you've done the same. Then we lose each other. It's just like a children's game. But as I find you here again, the thought runs through my mind. Our love is like a circle. Let's go round one more time.
Here we go. Are you ready to feel this song, Hamilton? Okay, put your hands together. Get on your feet. Let's do this thing. And 1, and 2, and 1, 2, 3, 4. All my life, sunrise and sundown. Sunrise and
Sandy Chapin, Big John Wallace, Harry Field, Doug Walker, Yvonne Cable, Tom Chapin, and the Hamilton Memorial Choir.